lunchtime smoke in the smoking shed, the garden shed. Has kind of a nice light in here. It's a little stuffy though, despite all the broken windows and ventilation opportunities from poor construction. It's we're going through our own heat wave, relatively. Nothing like a lot of other folks, but you know, it's all relative. So, smoking a BPJum. So let's see if that will focus in. Yeah. You know, custom built like routering. Wide shallow bowls I don't think smoke very well, except with dry mixtures. And probably those mixtures that have a lot of burley in them, because burley burns pretty good. This is not that, but it's pretty darn dry. I had some McConnell's, what is that? Oriental. It's a nice English mixture. It doesn't say what's in it. I got this in Stockholm when we were there, or I think I'd gotten a different can in Oslo, and it was like $52 US. So one can was enough. But I think we ended up smoking that throughout the trip, and then ended up in Stockholm at the end, and I needed a little more tobacco, so we went into a tobacco shop, and I think this was like 34 US or something like that, which is about the equivalent of Seattle prices. So if you're somewhere else with less taxation on tobacco, count your blessings. It's the little things. Sometimes you just have to be aware of those and say, oh wow, that's great, even though you never considered it before. And pipes and cigars will not ship to Washington, so it's not like, oh, I just got it from a catalog. No, sorry. Online usually is not an option. You know, the nanny state. So many momentous things happening at the moment. I just have been really busy and have gotten into project managing like little paving jobs. My work, I do mapping, GIS work, and that kind of translates into other areas. So I'm project managing some little paving projects right now, and so that has kind of taken up quite a bit of my headspace, just getting into the flow of my organization's process, which is extensive. It's called bureaucracy, but it does serve a purpose in that there are checks and balances and a lot of review of projects, and that's not a bad thing. It just takes more time and requires more signatures. So it's been a learning curve, but I'm getting there. And then other elements of what I do around here. Have been taking up some time, so I really haven't had a whole lot to say, or been on an adventure that I really wanted to share, you know. So that often will drive a video. Sharing an adventure. So I watched Gribb's weekly rant this morning, and I love that guy. I'll try and put a link in the little descriptor here. He's great. If you've never watched him, he's fun. So literate, cranky, uh, and shares a photography interest. So maybe we'll get together at some point and do a Zoom or phone-in video, or who knows. It'd be fun. He's busy being a photographer on weddings right now, so it would be fall probably before such a thing would happen. I sure do like the look of this pipe, though. You know, it's kind of different, huh? Yeah, these are just. Oh, this one. See, I'm pretty much a bottom feeder, and eBay is sort of my garage sale source. So this one, interestingly, I had never noticed this. Oh my gosh. It has a little, somebody scratched into the briar, a little smiley face of a guy smoking a pipe. I would expect maybe the kid of the guy whose pipe this was. I don't know. Jeez. Well, it's part of the patina now. I'd never noticed that. I think because my thumb normally rests right where that smiley face is. So, I tend to, let's change the topic here, to sartorial goodness. Old guy style. So, I'm now of an age where I can pretty much wear what I want and get away with it, you know, without being like totally offensive. And what I like are sturdy work pants. I'm wearing some Wrangler Rigs, double knee work pants. Those are kind of my current favorites. I move around. There's Carhartts, different kinds, but I like them to be roomy and comfortable. So I tend to buy them one size up from my real waist size. So honestly, if I was not wearing a belt, they would just fall off me. To me, that's a sign of comfort. But you got to hold them up somehow. And a belt, yeah, I'll occasionally throw on a belt for something, and you know, it has to be pretty cinched up or your pants just slide down, because I have two phones. I have a personal phone and a work phone, and I have a big set of keys, and I carry a flashlight. I'm a volunteer fireman. You always carry a flashlight. And I have a pocket knife, and then there's your car keys, which are on a separate, you know, a key fob that does the door thing. That's all, and your wallet, you know. So I'm packing a load there. And a belt just is uncomfortable for me. And I don't like tight trousers. I never have. So suspenders are a natural option. So I am, for a long time, I would just buy trousers that had suspender buttons. So I have a little sample here. These are logger jeans, they're called, right? And they have the suspender buttons. These are from Prison Blues down in Oregon, made on the inside to wear on the outside. So a good place to find these is up in here in the Northwest. We have saw shops. They're called chainsaw shops, sort of logger stores. There's a place down in Centralia, Chehalis called Madson's that is kind of the ultimate expression of that. It's like this huge warehouse, and anything chainsaw related, anything logger related, they are the source for it. And they have a catalog. Madson's, M-A-D-S-E. I'll try and maybe put a link in, I don't know. But it's kind of a go-to place. If I'm going down to Portland for something, I'll usually try and stop in there, and it's fun, you know. So there's a company in Oregon called Welch Suspenders, and they that's their stock in trade, is it makes suspenders of various kinds. And so when I moved up here from Colorado years ago, I found some logger jeans and the leather web type that suspender that connect to the bachelor buttons or the suspender buttons. Bachelor buttons are buttons that they sell them in a little pack of 8, and you pound them in, and real easy, and you can make any pair of pants suspender ready. Yeah, but most waistbands of pants, they're just folded over fabric. Really, they're not really up for that hard point of pulling all the time. And so I found bachelor buttons will often rip out at the worst possible moment, when you're climbing over a tree trunk in the woods or something, and then, you know, half of your suspender on the back is ripped out. You know. So, and they're always jeans. They're always but they're denim. And sometimes that's just too much, you know. So I wanted a little more flexibility, and so Nakona, which is the cowboy boot belt company, I think they're down in Texas, or they're probably some multi-conglomerate right now. They make suspenders with these kind of cool things that snap onto your belt loops. And you'd think, well, the belt loop will just rip out, right? Man, those things are well attached. Belt loops are really well attached on almost any pair of pants. It does create a single point of pull versus the bachelor buttons that they're in 2s. So the problem with these is they are a Y-back design. So the single, you know, it's kind of a cool looking leather suspender thing. You can find these used on eBay for $30, thereabouts. The elastic can be a little iffy, but mostly it's this single. Aren't these clips just great? I just love those. You know, onto your belt loops. It's great. The older ones were made in the U.S. Later ones were made in Taiwan. These are now made in China, but it's still a high quality product. So I thought, yeah, those are going to be my thing. So I tried a couple of different varieties of these Nakona suspenders, and honestly, they give you a wedgie in the back. So, especially with looser trousers. So, it's not a great solution, actually. I thought it was going to be like the thing. So, here's another pair. These are from a place in Kansas. Aren't those good looking? But no adjustability on the back, just on the front. And again, they have these same kind of really great snaps. They're called trigger snaps. And this set is made, let's see if it'll focus, yeah, in Kansas. So these are very much a handmade product. Hun Saddlery, Augusta, Kansas. Cool. But again, single point of back contact jacks your pants up along the back seam. Feels like you're having a wedgie, damn it. And yeah, you can loosen them, but then the crotch of your pants hangs really low, and they still give you a wedgie. Not ideal. So there are X-back suspenders. So I first discovered these. These are designed, they're super sturdy, no elastic at all, it's just webbing. And they're Weaver arborist. Let's see if I can read that. Yeah. Designed to hold up a padded belt on which a tree trimmer would ascend a tree with his chainsaw hanging off, his little limbing saw, various pruners, all kinds of crap hanging off his belt. So they're just super sturdy, nice and supportive, and they have a clip that can be used on your belt loops. Really super sturdy stuff. Probably sturdy to a fault, because they're kind of like bomb-proof, and a little bulky, and kind of rattly. You know, they do the job. And yeah, they're made in the Northwest. They're about $25. A little more than that, maybe. Again, eBay. So I did a little more research looking for an X-back suspender, and with clips. So here are some, and these are kind of spiffy, right? Spiffy. These are handmade in Grants Pass, Oregon. Now you probably can't read that label. What are these called? It's a weird thing. Better Spenders. Grants Pass, Oregon. Really a dumb name. Come on, guys. And they come in black. I just kind of went with a flashier thing here. Right? Oh, very nice. Very nice. So these are about $50. Really handmade stuff, you know. I mean, it is reassuring that there is stuff out there that is, and the elastic is super sturdy. Oh, stiff stuff. So, A1. These have been kind of my go-to, actually. You have to size them, and so you measure from your left belt loop up over your shoulder to the middle of the back belt loop, and that gives you your size. Get them too big and you'll regret it. Get them too small and you'll regret it. So, and really nice thick leather. A1, highly recommended, by the way. Yeah, those are great. The last ones that I have really taken a shine to are also made in the US, but much less expensive. So these are from Mars Suspenders. I think they have a place on the East Coast and then a little manufacturing thing down in California. But they're made in the US, supposedly, on eBay. And nice wide leather, not as thick as the arborist suspenders, those Weavers. But really comfortable. And because it's non-elastic, it doesn't break down during the day with the heat and some sweat. For a long time, I wore trucker suspenders. So I'm going to stand up here and we'll talk about this. Okay, well now that's about as far back as I can get with this. I'm using a Canon EOS R100, which is an old compact mirrorless interchangeable lens system. I have a 35mm equivalent lens on it, and it's not super wide angle, so but it's nice and sharp, and it's what I got, so I'm using that today. So these Mars suspenders are like $25, and that often includes shipping. They clip onto your belt loop here. Let's see. And at the rear, oh, one got twisted around. They give you good support back here rather than a single point that pulls up and creates a wedgie. So, and with loose trousers, see, these are just super loose. I mean, they are so comfortable. They fit when you sit. So these and these Grants Pass suspenders are my current favorites. For a long time, I wore trucker suspenders, and I didn't bring any out here to look at. But I have sewn some little patches here, because trucker suspenders clip at the sides, and they hold your pants up there, which can be which is a great idea, but they're all made out of elastic. So the trucker suspenders are a great idea conceptually, and for a long time Welch makes some. They make them usually in a 2-inch width. They're all elastic, and Duluth Trading is used to be the primary source for those, and I wore those for years. I would sew little patches onto my pants, because those clips, they're clips that grab your the waistband of your pants. Man, they tear your pants up. A couple of wearings and you've virtually got a hole in there, and ragged fabric, because they're torn them up. So, you know, sewing machine is just a hammer and nails for cloth. That's all it is. So I had an old antique treadle sewing machine, and so I'd just sew on some webbing and then clip to the webbing, and that actually worked really well. But the problem with trucker suspenders, with side clip suspenders, for me, is that they are pretty snug. It's kind of like wearing a gun harness, if you've ever done that. You know, they come around and like kind of close to under your arms, and they're pretty snug to hold up when I'm carrying in my pants, you know. And they're kind of constraining. And then they're all elastic, and the elastic just doesn't last. It's not the quality of these Grants Pass. I know Welch, I mean, this is really stiff stuff, and I expect it to hold up for a long time. And the online user reviews have said that, you know, they say, I'm just ordering a new pair because they're holding up fine, but they get these yellow ones, light colored, tan ones, I guess, get a little dirty. They show dirt. So, but the trucker suspenders, man, they just don't use that quality of elastic. Welch did make some that did, or they made some suspenders that used 2-inch wide, super stiff. I think they called it super tough elastic, and that was good stuff. But a 2-inch wide trucker suspender then really does start to kind of dig in under your pits, you know, because they're hooking underneath there, and they don't go kind of, I think they could be designed a little better. The architect in me says, yeah, you know, if we had a ring right down there where the clip is that connects to the waistband, and then the other two elements run to that clip, or that ring of metal, you know, where they are tied in there, then it would allow movement in there, and it would still be low against your waistband of your pants. So I need to probably try making a pair myself. I did order a pair of leather ones from an Amish guy. See, I should have brought this stuff out to show. But God, he attached the strap that goes around the backside, and it comes up high under your pit. So it just feels like it's in the way all the time. And it's all leather, so there's no stretch, which I think could work, actually. The full elastic thing, I'm not convinced that's the way to go. Anyway, what is the perfect pair of suspenders? You know, trucker suspenders are great because if you get in and out of a vehicle a lot, there's nothing in the small of your back that get twisted around. And with normal suspenders, that's pretty easy to do. On the other hand, the trucker suspenders, when they pull up the sides of your pants, if, like me, you're wearing kind of oversized trousers, there's a gap at the back and often a gap at the front, and your underwear shows, which is not a big deal to me. It's like, I'm an old guy, I don't care. But, you know, that I could see that could be a problem for folks. Yeah, I don't know. All these suspenders, it's amazing kind of how many variations there are, you know. So, anyway, it's fun. Maybe we'll talk about this again. I think you should try a pair of suspenders. And the clips, you know, these guys, where they just clip onto your belt loops, man, those are the most flexible. You can wear them with almost any pair of pants as long as they don't have those big tunnel belt loops, you know. But giving a pair a try would be great. I would avoid the Y shape like the Nakonas, with that single point in the back. That's just, it looks good, but it's asking for trouble, if you ask me. It's just distracting to have that, you know. What the hell? They don't quite fit. So, honestly, I truly think, with my experience, and it's all personal, these Grants Pass suspenders, if you're willing to spend $50, they only come in black in this color. They do make a variety of clips and all kinds of stuff, but this particular type with the X back and the trigger snaps, that is so far the best. And then these Mars suspenders are half the price, and they come in different colors, you know. They're just the clip isn't as nice. I can't really show it. Yeah, the clip just isn't as nice as those. But these are really comfy, and you're not going to have that breakdown, that day-long stretch of the elastic where you find your pants like feel a lot looser. What the hell? And then you tighten them up with the slider, and I don't know. It's just not this combination of some stiff elastic on the back bottom and then the non-elastic shoulders. To me, that's it. Or the full elastic but super good elastic of those Grants Pass suspenders. So that is what I have learned. But, you know, everybody's different. And honestly, those cowboy type suspenders with the single point in the back just look damn good, you know. There and lots of variations on them, you know, so they're pretty fun. And maybe you should try those. If you're going to buy them new, they're like $65, $70. But anyway, it's fun. So that was a discussion about nothing in the scheme of world events currently. It's like, oh yeah, let's talk about nothing at all. But there you go. Sometimes that's what you think about when you're smoking a pipe. And I'm always kind of looking for the optimal combinations for comfort, durability. It has to look okay enough, you know. So thus these Wrangler rigs, all cotton. They're kind of a ripstop fabric. Again, kind of Forester pants. But I like the look of them. And they feel good. They're all cotton. So. And I have, like I say, I have Carhartts. I have all kinds of I've tried the Duluth. What are those? So tough, a hungry beaver couldn't chew through them. I forget what they're called. And that was kind of an interesting fabric, but it gets kind of soft and doesn't have a lot of body to it. And again, they're heavy cotton, like denim-like jeans. So when I do laundry, gosh, I'm doing like a couple loads of jeans or something. No. Everybody's different. Anyway, these BPJums, pretty cool, you know. The rustication is just like, there's just not a lot like that. They're pretty unique, and yet they're widely available out on the web. They've kind of gone up in price. I think people have started appreciating them. And sometimes it can be just totally filled with putty. Like this one has some putty fills that are pretty egregious, but it's such a thick bowl that, you know, it hardly matters. Again, they don't smoke that great unless you're smoking a dry mix or something with a lot of an American blend, you know, of burleys. And that would want to be fairly dry too. Something like Captain Black that's all gloppy and humectant laden. I don't think those would smoke very well in here, but I don't know. I've never tried it. I don't want to ruin my pipe with that.